Hi, welcome or welcome back. I'm Brittany. If you're new here, I read loads of books, mostly romantasy, but also just really good other books. In today's video, we're going to recap all the books that I read in the month of May. And let me just tell you, this month has been the best reading month of literally my entire life, but also the worst. And I will explain why, but it has been such a freaking roller coaster. I have read some of the best books I have literally ever read this month. The bad news is that they put me into the world's biggest reading slump. And so I have been DNFing books left and right, just looking for that next amazing book. But we will run through all of the books that I finished, and I'll just show you a quick list of the books that are on my to be read / DNF, read at a later time list, because there's quite a few books that I have started and want to finish, but yeah, I don't know where we're at with these books. It's been a crazy month. First, I'll start with the books that I actually did finish, which is not that many. I think I finished 9 books, so we'll run through those first. And without further ado, let's jump into this video. First things first, let's get our reread out of the way. One book that I have decided to reread because I got the arc for the second book out in this series is Nightshade by Autumn Woods. And I am obsessed with this book. It's even better the second time around. It is a dark romance book. It is at a academy setting. This has the best banter I've literally ever read. I'm kind of going through it now and re-tabbing things, but the main characters in here literally have me kicking my feet. It's so giddy. It's just honestly so funny. The humor in here just cracks me up. Let me see if I can find a quote. I can show you the best 10 seconds of my life. It's just that like funny kind of tension in here. I like that raunchy sense of humor that just has me laughing so hard. But the sexual tension in here is just amazing. I'm obsessed with this. It does leave you on a cliffhanger, but the second book does come out later this year. So I already have a copy of it, so I'm going to read that one. But I think you will really like this book. Next book that I read is Souls in Ruin by Jacqueline White. And listen, here's the thing. I listened to this book on audio, and the audio is a 10 out of 10, chef's kiss, one of the best audiobooks I have ever read. But the story itself is very dark, depressing, very raw and emotional. So if you're asking me if I recommend this book, the answer is maybe. While I enjoyed the book, this is not a book that I would recommend to anyone. Because it's one of those books where you really have to check in with yourself and be like, is this okay reading it? And here's the thing is I started this book, I don't even know how long ago, last year sometime, and I got to like the 40% mark, and this was before it was even released. I was reading it as an arc, and I had to stop reading it because it was just putting me in a funk. But the plot was there, and it was really interesting to me. And so I was like, I'm just going to wait for the audio to come out. The audio came out great. I listened to it, really good. But once again, the story is dark. I did love the plot twist at the end, and it is a good book. So if you like dark fantasy romances, I really think you would like this one. Another dark fantasy romance book that I read this month is The Heartstring Duet by Zander. My God, this book is emotional, raw, gruesome, gory, beautiful. There's just so many ways I could describe this book. I don't want to go into the plot at all because I do think it's a really great book to just go in blind, but it is on the dark side. The book does start off with some gruesome, gory moments. I'll video here of me reading this, but at its core, this book is about life, death, grief, happiness. It will make you cry. That's all I'm going to say is you will be crying at the end of this book. I do recommend it. If you can stomach the gory stuff through the first 30% of book 1, it kind of does go away. It's such an emotional and powerful story and something I was not expecting from this type of book. Another book that I read this month was Yesteryear, and this book literally had me staring at a wall for 20 plus minutes straight. I was in shock. I was like, what the hell just happened? This is a psychological thriller. I believe it is being marketed that way. And while I could see that it reads like a psychological thriller, it's not really giving psychological thriller to me. I don't really know what it's giving. It's fascinating. It makes you think. Basically, this book follows Natalie, and she is an influencer trad wife who wakes up in the 1800s. So that is where we are with the book. I also don't think it's one I'm going to say anything more of on that plot, but it's good. It's very gripping, and the ending will just have you staring at a wall. That's all I'm going to say. So be prepared for that. I did love it. I do see some negative discourse around this book online. And I think it's because our main character, Natalie, she's very unlikable. You will hate her, but I think it actually plays an important role in the story. And I loved the direction this book went and how it ended. For changing up the pace here, I also read the new Freida McFadden book, The Divorce. And I think I've read all of the Freida McFadden books now, maybe like 2 I've missed. But this one, it did not disappoint. Now, while it wasn't my favorite Freida book, it definitely wasn't my least favorite either. I read it in under 8 hours the day it came out. I read it on my Kindle a little bit and then listened to the audio. Audio was fantastic. I did not see the big plot twist coming. If you've read a lot of Freida books, you know about the plot twist. And so I was kind of like looking for it. Nope, did not guess it. Do recommend it 100%. If you are just looking for a fun popcorn thriller that you will finish in one sitting, that is it. Another change of pace that I had here is, what's it called? One Perfect Storm by Carley Fortune. But look at these sprayed edges. Absolutely gorgeous. This was my first ever Carley Fortune book. And like I said, this month I went through just a roller coaster of trying to find that right book. I really did like this. It took me a second to get into, but after that, I was hooked. I loved it. We have childhood friends to lovers, which is one of my favorite tropes. If done right, this one did do it right. I love the characters in here. I did think it was a little bit predictable in some parts, but there's just, I don't know. I was just in the mood for like a good contemporary romance, and this one definitely hit. And this copy of the book is so beautiful. I'm trying to find. I also love that they put like an actual recipe in this book. I think that is just so freaking cute. But yeah, I will definitely be reading more Carley Fortune books. I'm just not always in a mood for contemporary romance. So I feel like I have to be in that really particular mood. And when I was in the mood for this one, it did deliver. I also read West of Wicked by Nikki St. Crowe, and this is a dark retelling of Wizard of Oz, and this was fun. It was fun. It had nothing to freaking write home about, and, you know, it was the best book I ever read. No, but it was definitely fun because I was reading a lot of heavy books, and this just hit that. It was Wizard of Oz, which is familiar. The Tin Man is a mercenary who's hunting Dorothy. It was it was a good pace. I will be continuing the series because I did think it was a good time. And also, look at this copy. Hello. It's just so pretty. Super fun. Let's get into the heavy hitters. So these next 2 books are potentially God tier for me. I haven't decided yet. Definitely 5 stars. Like, easy 5 stars. That first book is When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. Now, I know this is a very popular book all around, and people love this book or they hate this book. I love this book. I've had this book sitting on my shelf for years, literally since it came out, and I just never really wanted to read it. I tried to read it a long time ago, and then I started reading, there's a 20-page glossary at the front. I'm like, oh, no. My brain can't do that right now. We're not doing a 20-page glossary and then a pretty intense prologue. A lot of world building in here, and I think one of the biggest gripes about this book is the writing style. No, Sarah Parker has a very lyrical writing style. It's almost bordering, well, it is a little bit like purple prose, very overly descriptive. I literally read one passage in this book, and it took over 4 paragraphs for our MMC to literally walk into the room. So if you don't like lyrical writing, I do not think you will like this book. The plot itself, though, was absolutely amazing. I love this plot, and I think the reason why this was so unexpected for me is because I went into this with the expectations that it was going to be heavy, dense, beautiful writing. And while it is beautiful writing, the banter that is in here makes this just so freaking likable and different. And I loved the banter. That's mostly everything that I highlighted in here. The purple is just random stuff that the FMC says that is just literally so funny. The plot is a little bit confusing, but I think some of that stems from the actual writing. I still followed it and I loved it. The ending was great. And I am actually kind of glad, I guess, that I read this later on because the second book just came out, Ballad of Fallen Dragons, which I do want to read and I have started it, but we'll talk about that one in a second. I do 100% recommend this. It's literally one of my favorite romances. I ate up this banter. And like I said, I was not expecting that. I really wasn't expecting it. So I don't even know how to really put this book into words because there's a lot going on with the plot, a lot going on. If you like fantasy romances, give this book a try. Get past the glossary. Actually, don't even read the glossary. Skip over the glossary and then just reference back to it as you're reading the book. Because I think if you do it that way, you're not going to get turned off as bad. And the glossary was very helpful. Actually, I did reference back to it several times, and it wasn't a homework or chore. It was actually fun to do it that way. So that's what I recommend. The last book that I ended up finishing was a book that was just released, and I was lucky enough to read it early, is Because I Killed Him by Edith Bird. And guys, oh my God, this book is a freaking masterpiece. It was nothing like I have read before. The world was unlike anything I have literally ever read. Every time I try to talk about this book, I feel like I can't even do it justice because there's so much happening in here with the world, and I forget so many important things that were so fun to read about. It is 1920s futuristic vibe, dystopian setting, so we have a lot going on with that, but there's hover cards, there's lots of political intrigue, they carry sabers, there's death duels, there's politics, there's scheming, there's a drug ban, there's an academy setting, there's just so much. There's a guillotine that executes people, there's a credit system, a class system. It is so freaking good. And like I said, unlike anything I've ever really read, this would be my top recommendation for the month. If you're looking for something new and different that you haven't read before, this is it. Like I said, oh, there's also romance. How can I even skim over the romance? The romance is kicking your feet good once it hits. It takes a while for it to hit, and then once it does, you're like, oh, he did what? Oh, so it's one of those books, but the plot itself was extremely fast-paced, which almost made me forget that there was even going to be a romance happening in here. And I actually don't even know how this book was so fast-paced, being so thick, but it was. And I am so excited to continue the series. It is unfinished. The next book is not out yet. It is planned to be a 5-book series, but honestly, it's so good. It's also available on Kindle Unlimited. I highly, highly, highly recommend this book. Now, I read Because I Killed Him, Yesteryear, and the Heartstring Duet all kind of back to back. After that, it was like, I don't know what to read. Nothing is living up to these expectations. I have tried all these books this month. I have started every single one of these books. Some I'm definitely going to finish. Some I probably will not finish. Some I liked. It just wasn't the right time for me to read the book. My mind wasn't there. So I still think they deserve to be talked about because they were honestly really good. And these are the ones that I will definitely be finished. I did get an arc of The Ice Beyond by Olivia Wilde's, and this book is actually really good. Like a Viking-inspired book with werewolves, dragons, vampires. It has a little bit of everything. The romance in here is age gap, almost bordering on taboo, but not. I'm actually listening to this book on audio now, probably 50% through, and the audio is really great as well. I will definitely be finishing this book. I'm literally having the best time. I'm having the best time. I've just been reading other books kind of in between this one since I switched to audio. I did start this book literally last night, and I read When the Moon Hatched in about 3 days, which I was very impressed by because I can't usually read big, thick books like that fast. And this is the sequel to it, The Ballad of Fallen Dragons, and this one feels, I don't know, I'm literally like, I'm that far in. So we're talking 30-ish pages. And I just started the book last night, and I think I'm going to take a pause from it. I just don't think my brain can handle it right now. It's a little bit too dense for me, but I do want to finish and see where the story goes because everyone is saying this is one of their favorite books they've ever read. I just want to make sure that my brain is right before fully diving in. Another fun book that I picked up this month was 11/22/63 by Stephen King. Very popular book. I know a lot of people love this book, and I'm about 50% through this book, and I am really enjoying it. I feel like right now in the book, I'm not going to say what's happening in the book, but I'm at the 50% mark. It's getting a little bit slow for me, but I am still intrigued enough to see how this book ends up. I never actually read a Stephen King book before, so this is my first one. And he's very talented. He is a very talented writer. I am intrigued by this still. I am also not in a rush to finish it. Like I will be finishing this book, but it's not going to be probably like in the next week or so because I mean, the book is freaking huge. Like look at this, but it does have a great flop. So there's that. Another book that I am in the middle of and I will be finishing is The Arcane Study of Stars. Now I started this book at the beginning of the month, kind of books in between. This is really fun, though. It's kind of good academia vibes. She has a pet snake. She made a deal with kind of demon secret portals. I'm very intrigued with it. A very unique magic system, something I haven't read before. I don't know why I put this book down, but I'll be finishing it. at some point. During my reading slump, I also wanted to pick up, I guess, like a familiar series. Now, I actually didn't grab it. I already had the book Outlander, and I love the show Outlander. It's one of my favorite shows I've ever watched. And I'm like, I'm just gonna, since no book is like hitting right now and I don't know what to read, I'm gonna read something that I haven't read, but I kind of know the story. And I am really enjoying this. I've been reading it in bed, but like right before I fall asleep. So it's like taking a while to finish it. Literally all month, and I'm at like 50%. I am so intrigued by this series. It's kind of fun to see how it differs from the TV show, so I'm really intrigued by that one. I also got Into the Blue by Emma Brody, and I don't know if I'm going to finish this book. I know a lot of people love and rave like this is their favorite romance book. That's kind of what I'm seeing and why I picked it up. I was not far, like 100% into this book, and I was just kind of bored. Like it could have been a me thing, but I wasn't connecting with the characters. And I just once again, I just kind of felt like bored. Like it was a chore to read it. And if a book is feeling like a chore to read it, then I don't want to do another chore. I do enough chores. So that's where we are with that. I also tried Verity Guild by May Corlin, and I really wanted to like this book. I wanted to like the premise of it is like Roman inspired with like a murder mystery going on. Just kind of a little bored. I got actually pretty far, like halfway. It's a very long book. This copy is pretty though too. So, I mean, that makes it better, right? And once again, I was just kind of bored. Undecided if I'm going to finish this book yet because I'm like almost done with it. So, I feel like I should finish it, but I don't know. And the last book that I tried and I will be finishing also at some point, I might need to restart it, is the Yesteryear. And I actually bought this book this month and I have been very intrigued by it. I've seen a lot of great reviews, this book being recommended a lot, and the writing is really good. I'm very much enjoying the story. I feel like I've tried to do too much this month, and so this one's kind of to the back burner, but I do want to finish it out. I'm about 30% in, and so I am curious to kind of see where this story goes. And also, let's not judge me on all my unfinished books this month. Like I said, I've tried so many books. There's probably even more on this list that I don't have physical copies of that I tried because it was like, one day I'm like, I'm going to read a thriller. I want to read a thriller. And then I'd read I read it for like an hour and then I'm like, I don't want to read it. I'm not in the mood for a thriller anymore. Like this is when mood reading becomes such a problem because my mood has been changing literally every day and I don't know what book I want to pick up, but there's books that I want to read. And so I try them and nothing is just like hitting. So overall, a great reading month. Lots of books started. Mood reading at its finest. Let me know if you have any questions on any of these books. As always, please make sure you like and follow, and thank you so much for being here. And also, please don't judge me on all my unfinished books. I'm going through it this month.